Despite what most people believe, there are some really simple things that you can do to scale your e-commerce brand. And to be honest, it's stuff that is so easy to do that it becomes kind of easy not to do, which is why so many people simply just don't do it because they think it doesn't matter and that it doesn't actually do anything for their results. But I'm telling you, once you do some of these very simple things, they actually will work. And when you have scaled as many brands as we have at our agency, you start to realize some common patterns of just very simple, easy to do things that actually work to scale your e-commerce brand. So in this week's video, I'm going to lay out exactly what these so-called simple and easy things are for you to go and test. I'm going to show you proof that these simple and easy things can actually scale. And then I'm going to explain how you can implement it for your brand so that after watching this video, you can hopefully see some pretty immediate results as well. First thing that we're going to talk about is actually building specific and clear avatars for your brand. This is honestly something that if you have quote unquote built avatars before, or you have gone and laid out who your ideal customer profile is, you probably have not gone deep enough. Yet this is something that is so important, and honestly with the technology that is available today, pretty easy to do, yet so many people just don't do it. But this can be the difference between you actually scaling your brand and you continuing to fire creatives into your ad account and build landing pages and run offers and test products and do all this stuff without zero thought or clear intention on who the person is that you're expecting to actually give you their money. So one of the most simple and first things that you need to do when you are struggling to scale, or if you're honestly just looking to scale further, is to lay out a very clear avatar. So literally go in and give this person a name, clarify what their age is, talk about their gender, their marital status, if they have kids, what kind of quotes they would identify with, what their job may be, how much income they actually have, and actually start to build out who this perfect customer is, because it will help you with every single part of your funnel and every single part of your strategy. And now before we get into why this avatar process actually works, I want to show you an ad account that was failing to scale past $400 a day in spend. And as you can see, they were getting anywhere between a 2.3 to a 2.5x return on ad spend. They had not been able to scale past $10,000 to $12,000 a month in ad spend for probably the last 6 to 7 months. However, if we fast forward to just last Sunday, you can see that we spent $1,300 and we got a 3.36x return on ad spend just by simply focusing in on one specific avatar and building a customer journey for that person. That is the power of being able to go deeper on who a specific customer is, what they need to hear, and ultimately just better understanding them. So if we jump back into this document, how do you go about doing that? Well, the first things first is you need to understand what challenges or problems that they have. You probably have specific solutions that your product offers. Well, the first thing that you need to do is you need to identify their challenges and their pain points, and honestly, if you ask me, their fears. Because when you're able to go deeper on, again, who this person is, what problems do they have, what are their biggest challenges and pain points, and how can my product solve that for them? And I feel like this is what a lot of people do, and that's how they come up with specific angles, but that's typically where it stops when it comes to understanding your customer. But what you need to do is you need to go deeper. You then need to understand what are their goals, what are their desires, what do they actually want? And then from there, which is I think the most important thing, is what do they value and what do they believe? One of the biggest reasons why people have a low conversion rate or they can't scale their ads is because people just don't believe that their product does what you say it does. And to be honest, with some of the brands that I've chatted to, their product sometimes doesn't do it. So can you really fault the customers for this? Probably not. But if you have a great product, which if you're watching this video, I hope you do, then you need to really consider the belief system that this specific person has. So that way you know how to go along with their beliefs rather than contradicting them. I see so many times really good copywriters and honestly marketers that have some good skills completely forget about the belief system of the ideal customer that they're going after. So going back into this, another really important thing for you to look at, and these two things kind of come together, is objections and questions to overcome and answer. So what are some objections that they may have? And going further, what are some potential questions that person might have? So that way, when again, we're crafting our ads and we're building out our product pages, we can provide the information that is needed for this person to actually overcome any objections or get some of their questions answered. And then from there, this is something that I think so many people sleep on, is what are all all of the other products and solutions that this person has tried that did not work, and what are some of the products and solutions that your customer avatar has tried that actually did work. Because then what we can do is we can start to pull trust and pull credibility from things that we clearly know did not work for them and things that we clearly know did work for them, right? So for example, in a weight loss scenario, if this specific person is maybe on Ozempic for whatever reason, and we know that Ozempic is actually working for them, well, then we can kind of compare our product, which of course, if we have a weight loss product or something in that realm, we can then pull credibility from that product, be like, it works as good as Ozempic, right? And if that person is on Ozempic and they know that they're getting really great results from it, as you can imagine, that's going to build their belief that your product actually works. Whereas on the other side, if somebody used Ozempic, and I don't really know why I'm on this Ozempic example right now, but going with it here, say for example, somebody did use Ozempic and it did not work for them, and then they see an ad like that, it is going to completely clash with, again, their belief system, and they are not going to purchase our product. And so really understand the products and solutions that this person has tried, and showing that you just simply understand this person can be massive for helping you break through any kind of plateaus and ultimately just helping you scale further. Because if you really narrow in your audience and you build a specific customer journey for that person and you're able to build relatability with them, you will be able to scale a lot further. Now, again, this is something that is pretty simple to do. You just have to go do a little bit of research and lay out who this specific person is. Now, how can you do this for your business? Well, there's two ways to do it. Number one, just go and start researching who this specific person is and basically just look up the problem that your product solves. Or if you want an even easier way to do it, you can just download all of your reviews and all of your customer feedback data and load it into an AI, and you can simply prompt it to create a customer avatar for you. Now, if you want to get access to the exact prompt that generated this customer avatar right here that was so spot on and so accurate based on the data and the prompt that we gave it, I'd highly recommend that you click the first link in the description below to get full access to our avatar building framework inside of School, or there will be another link underneath that for the avatar building document that I showed previously. Now, the next thing that is so simple and easy for you to do, but most people just don't do it or they just don't know how, is product seeding. Now, if you have never heard of product seeding, what product seeding means is that you find content creators online who make content and you simply send them your product, and as a result they will return content. Now, the platform that we use to do our product seeding and make this entire process automated is over on Insense, so you can go and check this out as well. Again, there's a link in the description to all of this stuff. But how we actually discovered product seeding was by wasting thousands of dollars on paid content that just did not convert at all. We were spending the upwards of $500 per video just to get a piece of content to do absolutely nothing in our ad account. And what we realized is that the reason why a lot of this content just simply wasn't working was because the incentive was just for this creator to make money. They didn't have any affinity to our brand. They didn't really care about our brand. And we honestly noticed that some of the content creators didn't even really need our product. And so could that be a fault on us for finding bad creators? 100%. But now what we've done to avoid that, because it is very common, is just tell people, hey, we're going to give you product and in return, you're going to send us a video. And as a result, we started getting creatives that absolutely crush for our clients. And the biggest difference is because they are fully authentic. Nobody is going to film a video for a product that they don't want. They're just simply not going to apply. But if they're really passionate about this and they really like the product and they are that specific person who needs that product, or at least they know someone who needs it, that is how you get authentic content that can scale your ad account. And how well does this content work? Well, here's a brand that in June of this year was spending $30,000 and getting a 1.5x return on ad spend with their existing agency. And if we fast forward just a month later, you can see our team came in, we leveraged some of the free content that we got from those creators, and we scaled to over $73,000 a month at a better return on ad spend, at a total of a 2.45x return on ad spend. And the main thing that helped us do that was the free content from Insense. So when I tell you that this stuff can work and it can scale and it is super easy to do, all you need to do is launch a campaign on Insense, have creators apply, take their content and put it in your account. That is something that so many people just don't do, but it is an incredible strategy to scale your ad account further because you're getting authentic content from, back to my first point, your ideal customer avatar, right? So that is the power of product seeding. And again, it's something that's super easy to do, but also super easy not to do. And so if you are not doing any form of product seeding right now, I'd highly recommend that you do it. And again, if you want full access to our product seeding playbook, there is a link down to join our school community below, or you can just go and check out my video that is also attached below on how to run Insense campaigns. Now, the third and final super easy way to just drive better performance for your business is going to be consolidating your ad account structure. Now, we actually got this from the man himself, Mr. Professor Charlie. He taught this to us, I think it was almost about 2 years ago now. And ever since then, we have been stuck on it because it is just so efficient and it is such a great system for not only simplifying media buying and overall driving results on Facebook, but also helping us focus on the things that matter most, which is your creative, your offer, and your landing pages. For those of you that have seen our one campaign structure or one campaign strategy, that's awesome. But I just want to show for those of you that a lot of the times they believe like, oh, you can't scale past, $5,000 or $6,000 a day unless you have, 20 different campaigns. Well, here's a client that was spending $60,000 a week in January, and they literally had 2 campaigns. One was for the US and the other was in Canada. And the reason why we had 2 campaigns here is because they actually had 2 different stores, so we can actually run it in the same campaign. But as you can see, just in the US alone, we were spending $60,000 a week. And would you believe it? At a 3.6x return on ad spend. And so this is the power of just consolidating your account and focusing on the things that actually matter most. Now, when it comes to the actual strategy of this, there's 2 main things that we actually do here. The first thing is we move it to a CBO structure, which basically says, Facebook, take the wheel. You're going to go ahead and spend money on the creatives that I provide you. And then all we simply do is once a week or twice a week, we will upload DCTs, or now known as flexible ads, into the ad account, and we will let Facebook choose where to spend the budget. So for example, we had DCT number 56 here that was getting most of the budget. And if we scroll to the right, you can see it was driving a ton of performance. It was absolutely crushing. And then our second top spending ad over here was DCT number 54. And again, same thing, absolutely crushing. And so every single week with our one campaign DCT strategy, all we're doing is we're launching new creatives into this campaign and telling Facebook, hey, if you like this ad, put money towards it. If you don't like this ad, then don't spend on it. And in the case of this DCT down here, you can see in a $60,000 spend week, this ad set or DCT only spent $2,000. And although it looked like it had a pretty solid performance, what Facebook was telling us is that these creatives up here are going to deliver a better overall return at more scale, which is the most important thing. And so I'm going to save you the money by not spending on this creative, which is where we see so many brands go wrong because they force so much spend every single month on testing creatives when, if you ask us, you just don't need to. You just put your creatives in this one campaign, and if it can outscale what is already in your account, then it will outscale it. If not, it just won't waste your budget. And so by doing this, this has been an incredible way, and again, a very simple way for us to ultimately scale our ad accounts further and ultimately grow our brands further. Now, again, if you want more information on this, there is a link to join our full Evolve program over on School, where we break down absolutely everything you need to know about setting up this structure. Or if you just want a free resource, there's also a link to a YouTube video where I walk you through this entire process as well, and you'll be able to have a pretty good understanding of how to set up this one campaign structure for your business. Just to recap, those 3 things that I just gave you, number 1 being building avatars and going deeper on your ideal customer profiles. Number 2, product seeding to get content that you can then test as Facebook ads. And number 3, the one campaign structure and ultimately consolidating your ad account to optimize your spend further are all things that, if you ask me, are pretty simple to do, but they absolutely crush, especially when you put them all together. So what I would highly recommend that you do is go and test at least one of these strategies for your brand specifically, and then drop a comment down below to let me know how it actually goes. But if you're a brand owner and you just don't want to spend the time going to test this stuff yourself, even if it does work, because although these 3 things are pretty simple to do, it does still take time and it does still take effort. And on top of that, there's so much more that I obviously can't cover in just this video that is a little bit more complex complex that can also grow and scale your business. And it's stuff that honestly gets results like this. For one of our clients over here that we scaled over 700% this Labor Day and did $17,000 in a single day in sales, or a client like this over the last 30 days that actually did over $850,000 and we increased their online store sales by 147%. So if you're serious about growing your e-commerce brand and you don't want to go and do it all by yourself, then I'd highly recommend that you head over to easyamedia.com to go and get a custom action plan from our team. And in doing so, we'll be able to find out if our strategies will actually work specifically for your brand. And then we can come and implement our playbook and give you the blueprint of how we scale brands at our agency. Again, just simply click the first link in the description below to apply to work with our team. And if you happen to make it all the way to the end, again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this week's video. I hope it was valuable, and I will see you in the next one.